Hello and welcome to No Format Required podcast, the only podcast that, similar to last week, can promise you an episode that's going to release this week and completely fail on that. So what actually happened is we did record a full episode, me and Charlie. I was quite pleased with it, actually. We recorded for about half an hour, Charlie being, I can't remember where he was now, but Charlie being on holiday, which I'm sure next week when he's back, he'll tell us all about, and me on my way to work. And I listened back, ready to release it for today, and oh my god, it was awful. Here's a little preview of what could have been.
Hello?
You alright? Can you hear me? Hello? Charlie?
Hello? Can you hear me, Mike? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Michael?
Yep, so as you can see, absolute garbage. I will say that wasn't actually exactly what happened. We did record, like I said, for a good 30 minutes. That was us just attempting to get signal. Eventually we managed to twig and we talked. We genuinely did manage to talk. Charlie was asking me about Stranger Things. I was asking Charlie about the holiday. We got talking about escape rooms, remember I went to Beefy Boys a few months ago and had that, well, I didn't have an awful burger, but I had that awful experience. Well, they rectified it, but then, and I went there. We talked about that. I will say now, highly recommend Cheltenham Beefy Boys. Their customer service was next to none. I'll say exactly what I said to Charlie on the podcast, well, on the failed podcast record. I emailed them, not complaining, but saying they really need to get their act together about the nuts situation, because they told us, if you haven't listened to the episode, they told us that they spread peanut butter on the burger on the grill. So that meant Lauren and my wife and anyone who has a nut allergy isn't able to eat a single item on their menu. So we'd queued up, we'd waited for ages, we've got my son and my friend's kids, and it was a bit of a nightmare because it wasn't really the most child-friendly place in terms of busyness. And then to suddenly get told, like I say, in Cheltenham, so for us it was quite a drive, it was about a 2-hour drive, suddenly be told that we couldn't, or my wife couldn't have anything from the menu was quite disappointing. And obviously she wasn't happy about it. So I said, just get your act together. And then they emailed back saying, that's not true. What are you on about? We don't spread peanut butter on the burgers from, like, on the grill. So I was like, okay, this is now like not a suggestion, but now a complaint, because you basically told my wife she couldn't have anything. So to rectify it, they told us that we could have 4 burgers, 4 sides, and 4 drinks for 4 people, completely free. It was like fantastic. Went there. My wife didn't come because she wasn't, like, us being told that they do like spread peanut butter on the grill. She was a bit nervous about going back there, understandably. So me and my friends went, and the customer service was next to none. It was obviously the manager who took all of our orders and everything, but she basically gave us whatever we wanted for free. I was expecting just like a regular burger, regular sides, and just like a Coke or something like that. But no, any burger, any size, doubled up, any extras on top of that burger. So I had a lovely, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was like a dipping burger, like it had beef drippings on it. And I added some blue cheese to that, and I doubled it up, which was a mistake. I could not get through that burger. But I was like, and when I say doubled up, it was already a double smash. So it was a quadruple burger that I had. And then we got sides. I had millionaire fries, which were basically truffle cheese fries. And then I was like, because it's free, why not? Let's order some wings and try their wings as well, which were delicious. I'm not the biggest fan of spicy wings, and they were spicy, but they came with a blue cheese sauce. And if that's there, then it's an absolute win for me. So I had that, and then to drink, I had the Biscoff milkshake. And all my friends basically had the same. One of them tried the one which Beefy Boys won an award for. I can't remember what that was. All of us basically went in far too excited, ordered too much, and left far too much. I actually took home a lot of the stuff in the doggy bag, but it's quite good because driving back there, I had an absolute nightmare. It was in the middle of that storm recently. I can't remember what it was called. One of the most recent storms. And I basically got stuck going around Birmingham because I physically couldn't see in front of me. Bear me a second, guys. That's my door. Sorry about that, guys. Door answered now. So where was I? I got stuck around Birmingham. Literally for what should have been a 2-hour journey. It took me 3.5 hours to get home because it was so torrential rain. I couldn't see a thing in front of me. And I've got astigmatism, so driving at night in the rain is also quite scary. And then so that going torrential rain, 30 miles an hour on the motorway, and then missed my exit twice around Birmingham. So basically we did a little triangle loop around Birmingham, which was quite annoying. So it added an extra hour and a half onto my journey. So by the time I got home, I was absolutely exhausted, and having left over beefy boy burgers, didn't take the burgers, I took the truffle fries, I took some wings, and I took some mac and cheese bites that my friend couldn't eat home with me. It was an absolute delight, and I was so grateful that was actually able to happen. But yes, beefy boys, highly recommend. Go back to them. They're nowhere near as bad as I originally made out, and I apologise for any slander that might have caused them, because their customer service was next to none. So fun fact, I'm actually recording this episode at 10 minutes past 2. That's how committed I am to actually getting 10 minutes past 2 in the morning on Monday, the day of this release. That's how committed we are to getting new episodes to you. We've been a bit useless lately. Life gets in the way, and then Charlie was off for 3 weeks on a massive holiday. So that stops us recording anything. We are still determined to do this 24-hour podcast-a-thon. So what else did me and Charlie talk about? Because I feel it's not going to have the same resonance, me and Charlie talking about it again. We're not going to have the same sort of banter as we did on that failed attempt. Escape rooms, like I said, we talked about... So before we went to Beefy Boys, I say we, Charlie didn't come to that. Before I went to Beefy Boys, I did an escape room with my friends, and it was a really good one. It was a genie... So we're stealing the lamp from Aladdin's Cave of Wonders. It wasn't Aladdin's Cave of Wonders, from the Cave of Wonders in Aladdin. So we're stealing it for Jafar. Really original puzzles in there that I've done a lot of escape rooms, and I've never encountered some of those in there. Really well done. But it was meant to be an hour and a half to kill time before the actual Beefy Boys reservation. It took us 37 minutes, and the lady said that was the fastest she'd seen anyone done it. Not to toot my own horn. I don't think it was actually meant for us. We've done I've done a lot of escape rooms where my friends have done a few. 2 of them had never done anything, but they are quite smart and clued in on puzzles. It was, like I said, fastest she'd ever seen anyone do it. Went straight to the top of the leaderboard. Really pleased with that. Barbecue Rangers, if you go to that escape room, I think there's only one escape room in Cheltenham. Can't remember exactly what it was called, but there was only one. So if you went there, we'll be top of that leaderboard. Barbecue Rangers for life. We used to go to a lot of barbecue festivals when we were in university together, and we called ourselves the Barbecue Rangers. Hence why we've flashback from the past, let's call ourselves Barbecue Rangers for the scoreboards. So because of that, we had a lot of time to kill. So we ended up going to a little board game shop and getting some, there's these puzzles called Unlock, and they do card escape rooms, and they're really good. If you've never done one before, I really recommend them. So we went into a Wetherspoons and did one of them, and that took us longer than the actual escape room itself. So actually quite puzzling and tricky. They're really good. They've got, you think you're looking at something, and there might be tiny little clues hidden in this card, which you've really got to investigate to work out. And then it takes you to an app on your phone where you sort of input numbers or solve puzzles on the phone. Really recommend them. They've got loads out there. And once you finish with them, what we used to do, me and my wife, is we then gave them to charity, and we put a little sort of scoreboard on there. So we'd write our names and our time, and they've got hope is sort of the next person who buys it takes it back to a charity shop and does the exact same thing, and slowly this name gets longer. No idea whether anyone's done it, but that was our idea, and we thought it was quite a cool sort of fun thing to do. So yeah, I'll let Charlie talk about what he actually did on his holiday. I've already talked about Stranger Things. Again, phenomenal. Really recommend it. I think we'll leave it there for this episode. It's about 10 minutes, isn't it? That'll do for you. And a minute of that with me and Charlie trying to say hi to each other. I'll have a word with Charlie, see if he can record a little bit for the end. If you're listening to this on the day, it probably won't be there. But if you listen later, you never know. There might be a little bit from Charlie coming up in a minute. But next week, I promise we'll be back with new episodes. Guaranteed and promise that we will try. Promise that we will record at least one Christmas episode and get the Taskmaster episodes out within the next month. Maybe not next month. No, let's try to do the next month. We'll either have 4 weeks of Christmas episodes and then Taskmasters, or a couple of weeks of Christmas episodes and 2 episodes of Taskmaster. The Taskmaster ones are ready for recording. Everything's all done. Got some great guests on this one. Technically 3 people from podcast. We've got 2 of the hosts of Escape This Pod, which is a podcast about, basically it's an escape room podcast. So they come up, it's a bit like Dungeons and Dragons meets escape rooms. So they come up with Dungeons and Dragons-esque escape room puzzles and get people to solve them over the podcast. They've had fantastic guests on like Neil Patrick Harris and Alex Horne, Ed Gamble. So recommend listening to that. I think they've also got one called Solve This Pod. Unfortunately, I've not listened to that. Escape This Pod is really good. I've listened to that. And then there's also the host of Taskmaster is Wonderful, which is a podcast about Taskmaster. So he was very enthusiastic to get into that. And we've got 2 other cracking guests. So can't wait to actually listen to that. I think there's a fantastic crew. And I'm personally quite pleased with these tasks that I've come up with for this episode. Right. That's me rambling enough. It's quite difficult to talk by yourself for 10 minutes, but somehow I manage it. Right. We will see you next week, guys. Take care. Bye.